If I hired a carpenter to build me a table, I don't care how well they know the history of the hammer. I don't care if they memorize every type of saw blade in existence. There's only one thing that I care about. Can they look at a pile of wood and turn it into a table that doesn't wobble? Right now, the internet is flooded with people trying to break into tech. They're memorizing syntax, they're battling centering a div, they're collecting certificates like they're Pokemon cards. You know what they're doing? They're learning to code. And I'm here to tell you that's the wrong goal. If you want a long, successful, high paying career in software, stop trying to learn to code. Start learning to solve. Well, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my goal here is to help software developers move past just knowing the syntax and actually build successful careers. Today, we're tackling the biggest trap I see juniors fall into, the syntax obsession, the belief that if you just memorize enough JavaScript functions, suddenly you become an engineer. Let's be clear about something. Coding, the act of typing out if statements, loops, variable declarations, it's just the easy part of the job. Don't get me wrong, it's hard when you first start, but eventually syntax becomes muscle memory. The hard part, the part that employers actually pay six figures for, is problem solving. Coding is just translation. You're translating human intent into machine instructions. But if you don't understand the human intent or you can't figure out the logical steps to achieve it, knowing the translation language is useless. As someone who's actually interviewed developers, I can spot the difference immediately between a coder and a solver. A coder gets stuck on a problem and immediately opens Google to type, how to sort an array in React. They look for the code snippet and copy and paste. And I'll admit, we all do that from time to time. But a solver gets stuck in and grabs a pen and paper. They don't even think about the code yet. They ask, what is the data that I have? What is the result that I need? And what are the logical steps in between? And this is why so many of you are stuck in tutorial hell. When you follow a Udemy course, the instructor has already done the heavy lifting. They've already solved the problems. They're just walking you through the implementation and the typing part, basically. You're not learning to build an app. You're learning to type what someone else has built. So how do you make that shift? How do you stop just learning to code and start learning to solve? Here are 3 concrete steps to change your mindset. Step number 1, the 10-minute rule. When you encounter a new problem or a difficult bug, you're not allowed to touch your keyboard for 10 minutes. You must use a paper or whiteboard and draw out the problem. Write pseudocode in plain English. If you can't explain the logic of the solution to a 5-year-old using crayons, you do not understand the problem well enough to code it. Stop trying to brute force a solution by typing random syntax until it compiles. Plan first, code second. Step number 2. Abandon the tutorials. It's time to build something ugly, something broken and completely yours. Pick an idea. A to-do list is fine, but make it weird. A to-do list that deletes tasks if you don't finish them in an hour, for example. You won't find a tutorial for that exact feature, which is great. That means you have to solve how to implement a timer, how to connect to the database delete function, how to update the UI. The struggle you feel when there is no video guide to follow, that struggle is the learning process. Embrace it. And now we're on to step 3. Change how you view errors. Junior developers see a red error message in the console and they panic. They feel like they failed. A senior developer would see an error in red and say, I've got a clue. Debugging is the ultimate form of problem solving. It's detective work, right? It requires you to form a hypothesis. I think the state isn't updating here, right? Test that hypothesis, yeah? I'll add a console log and then analyze what the results are. Don't just copy and paste the error into Stack Overflow. Read it, understand what the machine is screaming at you, right? The better you get at debugging, the better you get at solving. Look, Technology changes fast. The framework that you love today might be obsolete in 5 years. If all you learned was the syntax of that framework, your career has an expiration date. But the ability to deconstruct a complex business requirement, break it into small logical steps, and architect the solution, that skill is future proof. AI can write code now. We all know that. AI cannot yet deeply understand the context and solve novel, complex problems. Be the carpenter who knows how to build the table, not just the guy who collects the hammers. I want to hear from you in the comments. What was the hardest problem that you've solved recently where the code ended up being the easy part? Let me know down below. If this video has helped change your perspective, hit that like button and subscribe for more nonsense developer advice. Stop coding, start solving, and I'll see you in the next one.